Gus Lobel's one of the best scouts baseball's ever seen. The guy that signed Dusty Baker, Dale Murphy, Tom Glavine.
Gus Lobel.
Well, what are you fellas staring at? I'm not a pole dancer.
Welcome to the partnership committee.
I want this.
You'd be the only woman.
My father is a baseball scout. I grew up around men who swore, drank, and farted.
Get me a damn check.
Trust me, I can handle it.
God damn it. Can't nobody say God damn it like Clint Eastwood.
Actually, all of his dialogue consisted of goddamn son of a bitch, son of a bitch, god damn it,
and don't forget.
That's right.
Damn, like, this movie should have been called Trouble with the Chair. What I learned about this movie is not only does this guy talk to chairs, but apparently he also talks to his dick as well. and they'll let you know about that in the first like 10 minutes of the movie because there's actual scene.
Come on, god damn it, piss already.
There's a scene where he's actually like getting pissed off at his dick. He's like, you're probably gonna outlive me. I'll show you, you son of a bitch.
I love it.
I'll choke the living shit out of you.
Translate jack off. Man, I missed that part.
You missed that part?
If you remember, I was
That's right, you got there late.
Oh, yeah.
I was in traffic and
That's
I
right.
got there and I missed the whole, apparently, Clint Eastwood talking to his dick part.
Oh, the whole theater started like laughing at that moment because I don't think anybody, I don't even know if even Clint Eastwood even realized like what was going to happen after that whole chair incident at the Republican Party. But man, it was, I was laughing my ass. I'm like, this guy's a fucking comedy genius.
Now think how much better the Republican National Convention would have been if Clint Eastwood had come out and talked to his dick.
I know that the whole time watching that scene. Yeah, you son of a bitch. You know how much trouble you got me into tonight?
What'd you say?
Because all I thought is like, wow, now I have to go back and look at that whole Republican thing, that speech he gave, because now I was like, maybe he was talking to his dick the entire time.
Why don't somebody make a movie where Clint Eastwood is Republican, but his dick is Democratic? You son of a bitch! You want to fight me?
You son of a bitch! How could you vote for Obama?
I don't know about talking to his dick, but he was definitely showing his ass.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna leave the man alone. Because listen, I know. I mean, there's some. I didn't want to go there with him, but yeah, granted, the guys, Clint Eastwood. He's still reeling from that chair incident, and everybody's talking about how old he is. Now, keep in mind that Clint Eastwood was not old. Clint Eastwood was an old badass, but now he's just old since that chair incident.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't care what anybody says. I love Clint Eastwood, man. That dude can. I think about. I say, man, God damn, it looks like it's a bummer to be old. And then I look at Clint Eastwood, and I'm like, that gives me hope. I can still be a badass. I can still do what I want.
Yes.
You know?
Still talk shit.
No, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's cool being old if you like a rich Hollywood star who is also the mayor. But your broke black ass ain't gonna have a good time.
Oh, no.
Let's think about the future here. In the future, I think that I can be turned white. And I can actually be mayor of somewhere. If only mayor of Shantytown.
You'll be the mayor like Ossie Davis and do the right thing.
Yeah, I just have, hey, that's cool with me. I just have the title of the mayor.
And title only.
Yeah, the mayor of drunkenness or whatever.
They'll turn you white, all right. They'll throw a bunch of Elmer's glue on you as they throw chicken feathers.
Yeah, exactly.
And throw you guys out in the middle of the road.
Yeah, when you tarred and feathered, you'll be white.
Okay, that's fine with me. Tar would actually be blacker than what I am right now, so you got that wrong. You know something, though? I say this because I think I really do. I mean, you can make fun of Clint Eastwood all you want. I actually got mad when people start calling Clint Eastwood senile because I think that Clint Eastwood is seriously that is one of the guys who represents old Hollywood, man.
He really
in one
does.
of the best ways today. That guy has grown. He is directed. He's one of the most versatile directors we have out there. He's still acting. Fuck anybody that says that he's senile. That guy's he's still doing things.
Just because the guy had a bad night at the Apollo doesn't make him fucking crazy.
Well, you know what? I think he is kind of crazy, but that's why I think about.
Well, he ain't too old for Korey to dick ride him for 10 minutes.
I don't give a fuck. I love Clint Eastwood. I'll dick ride that motherfucker to the sunset.
Well, hey, you know what? Let me saddle up with you because after watching this this movie. I mean, you kind of think about that whole incident, and I gave the guy a complete pass. I'm like, oh man, Clint, you're so crazy. Oh, man,
crazy.
I still love you. He's like that crazy dad you have that just doesn't know when to stop telling his jokes.
He is my dad. My
He
dad.
really-
Most of my dad's dialogue to me was, "God damn it,
Exactly.
God damn it."
That's how we
You
learn.
fucking up again, Korey.
I think that's how a majority of us learned English around here.
Yeah, it's like Bill Cosby said, you grew up thinking your name is goddamn it.
Yeah.
But nobody says it like Clint Eastwood. Nobody embodies
No.
cranky old guy who can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Like Clint Eastwood, man.
He's the guy you want to be when you're that fucking old.
I know.
And you know, just I mean, the sad thing about that though is that when you watch it, he does look old. You can see the guy is like on his last leg because that motherfucker's turning into Mr. Magoo in this movie. You see him running into every goddamn thing except where he needs to be.
Roadhog.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh man, you know what? This movie's emphasizing just how old he's getting.
Oh,
and
man.
it made me so depressed.
You know what? I mean, that dude is so old. Medusa looked at him. He turned to stone. That motherfucker kept moving.
he is sludging by.
At any moment, I was expecting Clint Eastwood to just dissolve into sand. He's so
But he
old.
won't.
But
He won't.
it doesn't matter. And you say I'm dick riding. Yes, I am, because Clint Eastwood is the savior of this movie. Now, I don't know what you felt about it, Leon, but when I came out of this,
I don't think I felt what you did.
you
Oh,
didn't.
really?
Oh, no.
Oh,
did not.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry, Leon, but I felt the same way. I was like, wow, if there is anything
the same way
great,
too.
Yeah, you felt the same way.
If there's anything great to say about this movie, it is Clint Eastwood. Period.
Oh.
Yeah, so he agrees with me.
Yes.
So fuck you.
Well, okay. I'm not. Maybe I'm talking about something different then.
Okay.
Okay, let me just.
You know what review this is, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Still reviewing Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah. Clearly, this is. Let's review how much I love old ass Clint Eastwood, and I walked into the wrong stage.
Hey, man, hey, brother, let's speak on it, brother. Speak on it. Let's
Well,
get into it.
Let's speak on it then.
Okay. Yeah, baby. Let's get right when you turn the bootsy collar. Speak on it, baby. Speak on it.
Get on that spaceship.
Clint Eastwood was on the mothership, baby. But listen, okay. Let me just tell you about this movie. It's about Clint Eastwood. He's a scout agent for the Atlanta Braves, and the Atlanta Braves they're giving him one more chance to prove his old ass worth. You know, they're like, hey man, it's like you goddamn 90 years old. How long you can play on a business hour? We need that space right there.
We use computers now.
Yeah.
What's a goddamn computer know about baseball?
Yeah. In fact, I think his word was, "What's a goddamn computer?" And but
I would say this movie is the sequel to Moneyball, but go ahead.
But no, it is kind of close. I mean, it's the opposite of Moneyball. Well, Moneyball embraced technology.
Yeah.
This movie shuns that and says it's nothing like good old fashioned know-how, experience, and just hands-on watching a baseball team, even if it's a high school baseball team. So he's a scout agent for the Atlanta Braves, and they say, hey, look, man, you got one more chance to, like, this is the year where you have to prove yourself, else your old ass got to just go into forced retirement. But his friend, John Goodman, who's his boss, says, you know what? I understand Gus, which is the name of the movie. I know what he means. This guy, he doesn't need machines. He just knows the game. He grew up on it. It's in his blood. But the thing is that his eyesight is gone, and he's keeping that from everybody. Like you said, he's turning to Mr. Magoo. He can't see shit. He's tripping over shit, running and stuff. Yeah, you know, he can't see anything, but he's not saying that to anybody. But his boss, again played by John Goodman, says, you know, I know that something is wrong. I don't know what it is. So he goes to his daughter, played by Amy Adams, and says, listen, I'm concerned about Gus. I know that you two didn't have the best relationship when you were growing up, but can you go check on him? Can you just stay with him? And
didn't have the best relationship. I hate him.
oh, it wasn't like that.
Bullshit.
No, it wasn't like
she rode his ass through the entire movie.
Come on, we'll get into that a little bit. Come on, now you go rooting for the bad guy.
Rooting for the bad guy.
No, listen, but here's the deal. His daughter comes back, agrees to stay with him for a few days, even though she's a lawyer. She has this big trial coming up that's going to determine whether she can make partner or not. But she sacrifices all that to come and stay with her father.
Hey there, kiddo.
It's been a while. Hey. Mind?
What are you doing?
I had some vacation days. Couldn't think of a better place to use them.
Well, they have telephones you could call.
Yeah, he would have said no.
Damn right I would. You should be back home, doing your job, same as I'm doing my job here.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm doing it for Pete. He thought you could use some company.
Yeah, well, he's wrong. Wait till I see that horse's ass.
It must be so rewarding being one of your close friends.
And as she stays with her father, she starts to, even though they didn't have much of a relationship, she starts to see how much baseball meant to her life, especially when those were the times that they spent together. So this is a movie about their relationship growing, him coming to terms with his plight in life, his position that he's in right now, being realistic about it. And it's also, how can I put this? A movie for old people.
I was going to say,
yeah.
it's like, I really like this movie a lot better when it was every movie my parents liked back in the 90s. There is no cliche that this movie will not pull in and use. I was like, God damn, this couldn't have been more predictable if they had given me the script.
Oh my God! See, maybe we're not.
It really was. Yeah.
Maybe we're not that far apart.
Okay, because I thought y'all were praising this movie. I was just sitting there rolling my eyes.
No, man. Listen. If they, I myself am a cliche describing this movie for the cliche because all I can say is, I mean, you hear those terms thrown around all the time: stereotypical, cliched story, predictable. That's what this fucking movie is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
As a matter of fact, I feel bad for every time I've called something cliche or stereotypical because it's like, no, I should have reserved that for this movie right here because it is the living embodiment of that.
It really is. I mean, even when they throw in the love interest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, did that really even need to be
And the
there
love
at all?
interest is played by Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake
I kind
shows
of
up.
like that storyline. Justin Timberlake plays. He's a scout for a rival team, but at one time he himself was scouted by Gus.
Yeah.
And so they have this relationship where they can kind of work together, even though they're supposed to work against each other.
I do like the fact that Justin Timberlake comes up. He's like, "Hey, Gus. Hey, Gus, remember me? Johnny? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Yeah, Johnny." And then you find out that like he was almost like his other son. And I was like, wait a minute, they were that close. And he was acting like, who the hell? Who are you?
But the strange thing about his character is that he would pop in and out of the movie. Yet it was so far few between where I know they were trying to establish this relationship with the daughter, you know, where even like, you know, Gus is trying to like, well, you guys just fuck already. I mean, throughout the whole movie, he's like, you guys need to get the fuck out of here and go find a room and fuck.
But see, that's his movie. And allow me a moment to just go through every storyline in here because it's all predictable. Okay, we have the strained relationship between the parents. That is played out.
The daughter and the father.
The daughter, I'm sorry, they're not the parents, but the daughter and the father. That is played out in the most predictable way. No. And then we have Justin Timberlake who comes in as the love interest. You do not have any doubt where that fucking shit is going the moment that dude shows his face. They are scouting. They're scouting a high school player. Oh, and that character is such a bad stereotype.
I'm sorry. I have to go off on this. Okay, it's one thing to like, hey, he's the new kid. We making you go get. I don't know about this kid. Now, it's one thing that he's got to be fat and have a big lantern jaw and be a redneck and a racist and be cocky and just talk about pussy all the time. I'm like, wow, did you guys just load it up? That's everything.
That's him.
Yeah.
That guy, he
snarls. I'm sorry, that's the other thing. Every scene, he's snarling in it.
Oh, the kid.
Even when he smiles, he snarls.
The kid that they are scouting, he's a cocky young guy, and there is no dimension. You could have tipped that dude over. He would have fell flat on the ground. He was so one-dimensional. He, like you said, he's cocky, and all he's talking about is, hey, you better get on base and don't ruin my endorsement and chance at getting chicks.
Hey, everybody must be quiet so I can think about what a star I'm going to be.
Oh, and there's a moment where when Clint Eastwood goes to a hotel, there's a kid that comes on the screen, and you think like, man, they sure giving that kid a lot of attention. The kid comes on, and he's good at sports, but the mom is like, hey, you go do your homework. There's no doubt in your mind that kid is going to be a potential scout.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. From the very first scene with that kid, when he throws that bag of peanuts, I'm like, it's going to come down to a face-off between these two characters, and he's going to get picked up.
Let me just say that to tell people about that scene, that kid he's the total opposite of the other kid that scout. That kid says, yes, ma'am. He's polite.
Yeah.
He's poor.
He's Mexican.
Nobody's looking. He's Mexican, and he throws a bag of peanuts like a fucking ball of lightning. And you know that. You say, oh, that kid's a great pitcher. He's going to go off against the cocky kid, but he's going to be the one to come out on top because he's such a nice guy.
And you can't help that when you watch the movie, you realize, wow, they completely threw away that storyline that actually had some kind of potential there to be different from the rest of the
You thought that had the potential to be different?
Well, no, potential to be interesting. I mean, but they throw it in so like just it's kind of like a throwaway plot in a way that they try to build it up at the end, and you're like, well, this is coming out of like the last
you're right.
5
Yeah,
minutes.
you see it, and then it disappears for so long, and then
Exactly.
they
you
bring it
forget
back at
about
the end. You're like, come on, guys, y'all
Yeah.
really gonna do this? Because if they could have, that actually could have been like what happens in the first act, and it built from there,
Right.
And that could have been an interesting story.
Yeah, they totally neglect that kid until they need him.
Yes.
Until they need him to show up,
Yeah.
the cocky guy.
The baseball team
Yeah.
neglects him. The
Hey,
filmmakers neglect him.
You've been hating this cocky guy for the whole movie, but wait, what about the Mexican that we didn't talk about the whole movie? Don't worry, we gonna pull him out again. And you think like, but wait, what more cliches and stereotypes can you fit in this movie?
Oh, but wait,
there's more. We have what's his name?
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew
Matthew
Lillard,
Lillard, yeah.
who is the young punk who is gunning for Clint Eastwood's job. He's that guy who's like, hey man, you don't know technology, you ain't about computers, but I know about it.
You don't know about baseball. You never been to a game. You just look at it on your computer or whatever that
Clint
goddamn
Eastwood
thing
tell
is.
them. But yeah, he's the young punk going for Clint Eastwood's job, and we know, like, hey man, ain't nothing like good old fashioned instinct and know-how to show up the young punk in this movie.
I want to see.
damn!
I want to see with the sign that said "bad guy" throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, God,
I'm telling you, man, it's a very
Jesus.
Republican movie that's trying to
It
say,
is.
like, these smart eggheads, they don't know the real thing. But we're the hard-working blue-collar folk. We know. It's like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, I would even say that it's not even maybe Republican in the sense that it's conservative, because that's what I mean by this is a movie for old people.
Yes.
This is why the Hallmark Channel exists.
Exactly.
But instead of being on the Hallmark Channel, because this is a movie for the reason why I say old people is because I'm not totally against what they're doing in this movie. I mean, everything is predictable for a reason. It's because it's for people who do not want anything unfamiliar to them. They want to walk in and know exactly what's going to happen, because even from the first few frames of this movie, they know that by the end, everything's going to be all right, and they're going to feel really good.
I think the theater gives you a nurse so she can spoon feed you the movie while it's going on. Because there's not a shred of originality whatsoever, besides the fact that Clint Eastwood is fucking great, and that is it. That is all you're going to take away from this movie. You're going to forget about Justin Timberlake and that pointless romance. You're going to forget about the generic relationship that these two characters, Clint Eastwood and his daughter, are trying to build, because even that feels like a goddamn it's waiting to become a Hallmark, like, I'm sorry card or something.
Yeah.
It's like,
Please forgive me, your father,
please
Clint
forgive me,
Eastwood.
yeah.
And I
Here's some
suppose
flowers.
I wasn't as enchanted by Clint Eastwood because I kept thinking, like, well, he was so much better with doing this kind of thing in Gran Torino, where here it just has no teeth. It's just like him saying "God damn it" and trying to sort of being cute, but it's just so safe. It's not doing anything for me. Probably the only thing that held me to it was Amy Adams, because I think she's a great actress, and even when she's given shit, there's little moments where she can shine or make it feel like something. However, that being said, yes, co-host, the way the relationship is written between them, it is flimsy as spiderweb, and it goes in and out. And like when you finally get to her big reveal, like, "Daddy, I'm mad at you. I'm sorry, I've been mad at you my whole life. Come back and talk to me." And let me tell. Oh no, sit down. Let me tell you why I'm mad. He's like, well, okay, fine.
Who gives a fuck why you mad?
And what she does is like, when I was 7 years old,
burn my hamburger right now while you're bitching at me.
like, look, you gonna sit and listen to me. When I was 7 years old, you did this. It's kind of like, well, what do you want me to do about that now?
Yeah. It's like you waited
been
all
40
these years to tell this guy now when he's actually doing his job. It's like, now's the perfect time to fuck with him while he's
goddamn, this motherfucker's about to die.
But she's just riding his ass. It was getting on my nerves.
But I would tell you this. I do love Amy Adams, and I think she's a good actress. And even when you get just dribbled like this shit right here, she still manages to, an actress will rise above just hackney material like this because they know how to bring certain mannerisms and deliveries to it. And she's charming no matter what. But I got to disagree with you on Clint Eastwood. If there's any cliche that I will say worked, it's that old grumpy old man stereotype that Clint Eastwood brought to this. Out of all this stuff that I saw in here where I was getting bored and tired and just said, hey, man, I could be watching this on TV, on Nick at Night or something, Clint Eastwood he can still carry a movie. That guy is still such a strong presence, even when he's a stereotype himself. that guy, you cannot take your eyes off him. You cannot wait till he comes back on the screen.
Clint Eastwood is the best 5-hour energy drink ever. I mean, he really because I don't know how many times he woke me up during this movie. Where as soon as they start hanging out with Amy Adams, I'm like boring.
I had that energy drink. It's called "Wake Up, goddammit!"
Yes.
Okay, shit, all right.
But I mean, and that's the sad thing about the movie is that even Justin Timberlake, just you could tell these guys can act, obviously, and the fact that they get to act with Clint Eastwood, you're like, man, the writer should have really went all out to make this like a real memorable movie dealing with relationships and just a relationship between a father and a daughter, because you don't see too much of that, and it's kind of sad when you see that they give a better job delivering just by looking at each other more than they do delivering their dialogue. Even though, like I said, anything comes fucking spewing out of Eastwood's mouth is golden, regardless. I mean, he could just give that guy a fucking Academy Award.
Could be thrown up over a toilet. That's still be great.
Yeah. If the guy threw up for 10 minutes,
the Academy Award goes to.
Yeah, but I mean, just the idea that they act more, you get more emotion out of them just by looking at each other, like seeing their grief. Seeing like, there's a great scene where they just got done hanging out, and you think, oh wow, they're actually having a bond finally. And then the smallest little thing, like with him trying to open up a door, and she's like, let me do it. She's like, God damn it, I can open up the goddamn door. And you're like, oh, wow.
Bitch, get away from me.
I was like, wow, that's a very real moment because I've been through that moment.
Well, I look at this, and a lot of people, they look at this movie on TV, the commercials for it on TV, and look at the trailer coming up, and they're thinking, oh, great, it's another Clint Eastwood coming up. One of the things that you got to realize, I mean, we're criticizing this movie, and it's not a Clint Eastwood movie, so don't go and think that this criticism is due to his direction. It's actually, let me look up this guy's name right here, Robert Lorenz. And you're probably thinking, well, why did Clint Eastwood agree to do such a generic movie like this? This guy, he's been a producer with Clint Eastwood for a while. He did the Two Flags movies, the Flags of Our Fathers, and
Letters to
Letters to Iwo Jima. I think he, what was that thriller that he did with
Tightrope?
Blood
Simple.
Blood Simple. Yeah.
No.
That's a Coen Brothers.
Yeah,
I was going to say. No, but
Blood Work.
Blood Work.
That's it. That's the movie I remember.
Yeah, Blood Work. Yeah, and
okay, so Clint Eastwood did it as a favor.
Clint Eastwood just probably just said, "All right, shut up, I'll do it." But that's this guy obviously is a better producer than I think he is a director. Or else he just came in and said, "Fuck him, I just want to play it safe." And that's what this movie feels like. It's just playing it safe. Again, nothing bad, but it doesn't. I mean, the movie is so predictable that they had a line in there where Amy Adams says, she tells Justin Timberlake, she says, "You'll wait? How long will you wait?" And I said to myself, as long as it take. Cue up Justin Timberlake, as long as it takes. And I was like, come on, man. Wow.
Did I write this fucking script?
So they even got the mystical Negro. You remember when Justin Timberlake and Amy Adams are walking down the street and they just have a blues player on the street just playing a guitar?
I know.
Hey, y'all look like a good young couple. Yeah. It's a great night for dancing. I'm like, damn,
you
man.
See, like the sparkles.
Wow. You left no stone unturned.
Well, even that, you're going to answer your phone again? Nope. And it's like there's just suddenly out of nowhere a dumpster pops up behind her.
Let me just say here, I was going to bring it up. Spoiler alert here. If you really give a fuck, and some people do, they'll just say,
I don't see how that's a spoiler alert.
People will fuck with us just because they can. So for that asshole that wants to call spoiler alert, there is a scene where at the end of the movie where Clint Eastwood tells Amy Adams she's been on her phone for the whole movie, and he's been like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Multitasking, get with the times." And finally at the end of the movie, he's like, "Yeah, you're not thinking again." And she's like, "Yeah, they want to offer me my job back at the firm. Are you going to take it?" "I don't know." And then behind her, you see strategically placed a dumpster. Wow. I wonder what she's going to do with that phone. Thank you, Leon, for recognizing
No, man. I saw that shit. I was like, for real? Like, the moment they stop me from a dumpster, I'm like saying the dialogue before they say it. Because I'm like, I know exactly what's they're going to say. Here it comes. Bing.
But you know what? The whole time I was wondering, why isn't Clint Eastwood's character going, did you just get rid of your BlackBerry? Do you know how much that thing costs? God damn, what's wrong with you, girl? Did I not teach you anything?
It would have been great if, like, in the credits, it just cut back and they show him coming back to the dumpster, diving in there and getting the BlackBerry back.
Well, it's funny because the little teenage Mexican girls next to me, they start talking to each other like, shit, I wouldn't throw away my phone. Somebody gonna come up there and steal it.
Okay, if ever anybody talked in the theater, and speaking about the obvious, that should be it right there.
Right.
Because somebody should say that shit.
Yeah.
You know what, man? God damn, this movie is. What can I say? You know, if you're fucking 90 and you're in a nursing home, you can't change the channel.
if you're listening to this review,
and this pops up on TV and the nurse ain't around for to change the channel for you. Okay, good for you. I will say this. This is a movie for my mom. This is a movie for anybody who really wants to go in knowing every beat of the movie. It is not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not even a terrible film. I will. You know what? I will compare this movie to comfort food.
yeah.
Comfort food can be anything from, man, macaroni and cheese served gourmet style with breadcrumbs and all other stuff on top of it, or you can eat microwave Kraft macaroni and cheese. And this is the Kraft macaroni and cheese of that version. Look, you're going to eat it, you're going to enjoy it, and because I will say there are some parts of this movie, even the predictability of it, I loved it when that kid showed up, the snotty fucking brat. You know,
Jason Bourne.
Doesn't he look like a friend of ours, Jason Barnes? He was just like Jason Barnes, man. But the fucking snobbish baseball player that scout, I couldn't wait to see him showed up. And that's the way these movies kind of work. We made a comparison to a Tyler Perry movie, I think with Resident Evil or something. But this is truly the white version of a Tyler Perry movie.
It's the old white version of a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, you know everything's going to happen. Some of it you rolling your eyes at, and some of it you're like, man, I knew it was going to happen, but I couldn't wait for it to happen. Cheap microwave Kraft macaroni and cheese, and that equals in a rating to a low rental.
I wasn't as enchanted with Clint Eastwood as you guys, but he wasn't bad. And if anything, you go like, as much people made fun of him for the what he did at the Republican convention. He's like, this guy is still lucid. I mean, yeah, his body's falling apart. But he's his brain is still sharp, so I'll give him that. And Amy Adams was able to bring something to it to make it not descend into everything that it was in every other way. It's tapioca pudding, except without even the vanilla flavoring. It's like that oatmeal mix they give you when you wake up in the Matrix, and they go like, "Hey, this is what we eat now." You're like, "Oh fuck."
I thought you were gonna say this that shit they give you when you had no more teeth.
Yeah, pretty much. The thing is. Yeah, it's all I can. It just screams Hallmark Channel, and I thought, man, it's only the fact that you have these actually better than they should be actors in it. Even John Goodman, it's because you have these guys.
Isn't he great?
Yeah, he is. It's these guys that keep it from being complete shit, and at the same time, it makes me angry that they wasted their time and talent on something like this. Like you see those actors, and it makes you expect more, way more than what this movie is giving you. Man, I'm so close to giving it some old bullshit, but I'm right there with you. Low rental.
I mean, I could see why Clint Eastwood did it. I mean, if you really look at the bare bones of what the subject matter is, it's a guy. It's a daughter trying to get back with her dad, like trying to reform that relationship. And at the core of it, I like that. And Amy Adams. Everyone in this movie did the best they could to get past, like,
they did,
fucking,
man.
Yeah, I mean, they were, you could tell. It's like, oh, I'm really trying. I'm poor Justin Timberlake. His one chance to work with Clint
I'm working with Clint Eastwood, man. Can you believe that?
Yeah, too bad this is some bullshit.
Like, hey, this is the best I can do before the guy fucking dies.
But even Robert Patrick was acting his ass off with just a few looks. I was like,
Robert Patrick, the Terminator, came in here for just 5 minutes.
He was another reason. He was another thing where I'm like, oh man, that guy's gotten old.
He did, man.
That's an old T-1000.
Yeah, I thought those things were supposed to age.
Yeah, they need to decommission that dude quick.
Well, they don't age when in the future, but when they come back to our time, they start breaking down. We don't have the parts to keep them maintained.
Yeah, when you deal with Clint Eastwood, everyone he just was like,
what'd you say? That dude just sucks the soul out of it, the life force out
that
of you.
motherfucker's a dark crystal. But man, I mean, you could see all these guys really trying, and I really do wish that storyline with the baseball player. Well, the guy who's just working at his mom's like hotel.
Sure.
I was hoping that story would come to the forefront because when they showed it at the end, I was like, this is cool. This is like one of those movies you want to see, where just some kid who's not even in baseball, he's not even playing on a league or anything. He just accidentally gets found out because
accidentally through the miracle of hackneyed writing.
Through the miracle of bad writing. Yeah, and I'm like, man, that should have been the meat of the story right there, not this other bullshit they're forcing you. But man, Clint Eastwood. Leon, come on, man, cut the guy some slack. He was
saying, man.
Man, I can't fall in love with him just because his name is Clint Eastwood.
No.
The guy didn't need teeth in this movie because he ain't dealing with he ain't in the barrio fucking, making sure that kids are going to shoot up his lawn. I mean, sure, I would get that. I mean, even though the movie does give you a great scene where Clint Eastwood's in a bar and someone starts fucking with his daughter. Oh boy! You're like,
you know what?
Yeah.
Another cliche. Old Joe rapist in the bar.
Oh yeah.
He sees a woman. He's like, "Hey, baby, give me a kiss.
How about you and I dance?"
Yeah.
Like, no.
Let me almost rape you in a well-lit bar in front of everybody.
In front of tons of witnesses.
And all that made me was like, wow, I wish Clint Eastwood was in every movie where somebody's about to get raped so he can jump in and save the day.
Cut that out.
Break a bottle, almost cut their nose off.
Oh man, he's so badass. I was like, yeah, that's dirty fucking Harry right there. That motherfucker's dirty for a reason. But I mean, other than that, yes, it is everything that you guys said it is. It is just a fucking Hallmark card ready to get sold. And the people who usually buy those cards are in line, and they're all these old motherfuckers that just sometimes don't know any better. But
Don't know any better.
But he is
like old people just buy Hallmark cards and they get home and like, why did I buy this?
Yeah, what did I buy this for? Like your son's been dead for 20 years.
If Luby's restaurants were to start their own channel, this would play on.
The movie channel.
Exactly. And you know who's bringing you the food to the table is Clint Eastwood. And,
we chew your movies for you.
Clint will chew it and spit it out. It's like, eat it, goddammit. But I mean, I'm giving it a rental, and that's basically just due to Clint Eastwood working his magic on me. I'm sorry.
I thought you said because Ben Leslie's movies doo-doo. Just before the dude died, just put him with an orangutan again.
Oh, I know. Put him with Clyde. Yeah.
Hey, Clyde is his helper monkey.
Clyde is his monkey that's helping him brush his teeth and wipe his ass.
I just want to see him and Clyde now, like in front of their house, just watching traffic go by.
Yeah, Clyde is old too.
Yeah. And then see that old biker gang, the spider, the Black Widows coming to town.
You know what? Just remake Grumpy Old Man with Clint Eastwood and Clyde.
Oh yeah.
All I'm asking for.
Game's changed. Gus couldn't even turn on a typewriter, let alone a computer. You don't know anything about the game. A computer can't tell if a kid's got instincts.
You know too much about baseball to be a lawyer.
It's a long story.
I'd like to hear it.
I don't want to tell it.
You coming in?
You are crazy.
I just didn't want you to have life in the cheap seats,
They
that's
weren't
all.
the cheap seats. Spending every waking moment with my dad watching baseball. Those were the best seats in the house.
You're still single, aren't you?
Maybe you're emotionally unavailable.
Who are you, Dr. Phil?
Hey, that is quality television.
Yeah.